wondered why some of your favorite NBA players can't rock certain gear? From banned jerseys to controversial sneakers, the NBA has had its fair share of surprising restrictions over the years. In today's video, we're diving into the top 10 banned items in the NBA that shocked fans and players alike. Chains and jewelry. There weren't too many regulations because honestly, they hadn't run into many problems yet. Back then, rocking gold chains on the court was a signature look for a lot of players. It wasn't just about the game, it was about style too. But things quickly changed when the NBA decided to ban chains. Why? They were seen as a safety hazard during games. While you might catch a player sporting a chain during events like the dunk contest or similar exhibitions, once the ban was in place, wearing that bling during an actual game became a no-go. So, ever since then, players have had to leave their drip in the locker room. BandAids. In 2009, Dwyane Wade took an injury and turned it into a fashion statement. After suffering a cut under his left eye, the Miami Heat staff asked him to cover it up during games. D-Wade didn't just use any Band-Aid, he had custom ones made with his name on them, perfectly matching his uniform. And guess what? He loved the look so much that he kept wearing those custom Band-Aids even after his injury healed. But the NBA wasn't a fan of this new trend. They quickly banned custom Band-Aids, saying they were fine for healing, but not for fashion. However, here's the twist. While the league enforced the ban, they also admitted that breaking it was too minor to warrant a fine. So, technically, players could still wear their custom Band-Aids today without much consequence. It's almost like the rule was made just for D-Wade, leaving his mark on the league in yet another unique way. Earbuds. Music has always been a key part of how NBA players get in the zone before a game, whether it's the Grizzlies doing their pre-game dance ritual, or LeBron James rapping his favorite lyrics. Music is a big deal for these athletes. It's their way to hype up and get focused. But the NBA? They weren't too thrilled about earbuds being part of a player's on-court attire. For a while, the league cracked down on players wearing earbuds during warm-ups, saying it wasn't proper attire. This didn't sit well with NBA legend Vince Carter, who spoke out against the ban, saying it messed with his routine. Like many others, Vince relied on music to get into the right headspace during his workouts. Music was his way to relax and focus before the game. Despite the pushback, the NBA stuck to its decision and banned all earbuds on the court. So, even though music is still a big part of players' routines, they've had to find other ways to stay locked in without their earbuds during game time. Custom kicks. The NBA has some pretty strict rules when it comes to custom sneakers, and the reasons behind these bans can be a bit baffling. Take Stephen Curry, for example. He wanted to celebrate Chinese New Year with a special custom pair of his signature shoes. But the NBA shut him down, saying the shoes had to match his team's color scheme. Curry's custom kicks were out, just like that. Then there's Karl Anthony Towns, who designed a pair of sneakers inspired by his favorite Netflix show, Stranger Things. When he laced them up, the NBA told him they could only feature the shoe brand's logo. No creative designs allowed. And who could forget Kanye West? He spent years designing over 300 different concepts for a Yeezy basketball shoe. But when photos of his final design leaked, the NBA nixed it without even letting him step onto the court, citing issues with the shoe's reflective heel. So, while players and designers get creative with their kicks, the NBA's rules often put the brakes on their sneaker dreams. Banned jersey. The Milwaukee Bucks were all set to hit the court, excited to debut their brand new merch line, rocking the Cream City jerseys. They hit the floor, repping those jerseys with pride and ready to dominate. But here's the twist. It wasn't their opponents they needed to worry about. Nope. The real problem was the jerseys themselves. Turns out, the cream color was causing some serious TV glitches. The shade was messing with the technology used for those on-court ads we all see during the games. So what did the NBA do? Out of nowhere, they had the Bucks swap out their Cream City jerseys for a blue version. And just like that, the Bucks were told that cream-colored jerseys were a no-go. Not just for them, but for any team in the league. Why? Because it was just too problematic. Talk about a fashion fail. Duraks. In 2000, Sam Perkins of the Pacers decided to hit the court sporting a Durak, making a bold fashion statement. But the league wasn't having it. Almost immediately, the NBA slapped a ban on Duraks, claiming they were a safety hazard, similar to the reasoning behind the chain ban. However, rumors suggest there was more to it. It's been said that the NBA saw Durags as a symbol of hip-hop culture, and they weren't too keen on that image representing the league. So, the ban was less about safety and more about controlling the league's image. Whether that's true or not, the Durag was officially out, and it's stayed that way ever since. Tinted Goggles. In 2011, Dwyane Wade faced a tough situation during a game against the Knicks. He had a migraine and was super sensitive to light. To cope, he wore light-tinted goggles to protect his eyes. However, the NBA quickly saw this as a potential issue. They worried that because the goggles obscured Wade's eyes, it might give him an unfair advantage by making it harder for opponents to read his expressions and movements. The league decided to ban tinted goggles shortly after the game, suspecting they could offer a competitive edge. While it might seem odd that not being able to see an opponent's eyes could be an advantage, it's true that players could be at a disadvantage if they're guarding someone with tinted goggles on. So, the NBA put the kibosh on them to keep things fair on the court. The black mask. The iconic black mask is something many NBA fans remember well. Worn by stars like LeBron James and Kyrie Irving over the years. For a while, masks weren't a big issue, but that changed in 2014. During a game, LeBron sported a sleek black carbon fiber mask to protect his broken nose. However, after the game, the NBA stepped in and told LeBron to switch to a clear mask. The black mask was banned from then on. The exact reason for the ban remains a bit of a mystery. Some speculate that the black masks might have given players an unfair advantage or had some hidden drawbacks that weren't immediately obvious. Whether it was the look or the potential impact on gameplay, the black mask was put on ice, and clear masks became the standard for players needing protection. The banned basketball. In the 2006 season, the NBA tried something new that turned into one of its biggest blunders. Commissioner David Stern decided to introduce the Spalding synthetic basketballs, which were designed to be an upgrade. These balls featured microfibers instead of leather, aimed at providing better grip and quicker moisture evaporation. The idea was to give all players a level playing field with a ball that felt broken in right from the start. But things didn't go as planned. Within months, the synthetic balls sparked major controversy. The NBA's shiny new game ball was criticized by players like Shaquille O'Neal, who compared it to a cheap toy basketball. The complaints didn't stop there. Players started reporting hand injuries, with some even claiming their hands were bleeding from the rough texture. It wasn't just the superstars feeling the heat. Players like Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki also voiced their frustrations. To prove the issues with the new ball, Mavericks owner Mark Cuban went so far as to hire a physics professor to study it. The results were eye-opening. The synthetic balls bounced 8% less than the traditional leather ones and became more slippery when wet, which was the exact opposite of what was promised. The backlash was so severe that the NBA quickly abandoned the synthetic balls and returned to the classic leather ones, marking this experiment as one of the league's most notable failures. What do you think about these decisions? Were they fair, or do you think the league overstepped? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more awesome content.